As far as I can reckon, this is about my 10th farewell sermon. I've turned this genre into a very successful groove. About this time last year, I was measuring the life remaining to me, if not in coffee spoons, certainly not in years. Diagnosed in February with incurable stage 4 cancer, by May I had lost 25 pounds. Death hovered closer and closer every day, or certainly seemed to. But then the tables reversed. I gained my weight back, began feeling better physically. Meanwhile, all the tumors scattered throughout my lungs and liver dwindled to almost nothing. For almost 14 months, from early February 2008 to about a month ago, when we learned that my tumors had finally outwitted the experimental therapy designed to thwart them, I lived in a kind of suspended animation. My death interrupted, my life became timeless. Near the end of this welcome hiatus, a year dedicated in part to reading hundreds of books. By the way, it's like dying and going to heaven. I got the itch to write another one myself. Under the expansive canopy of my ministerial calling, I've been blessed with 3 distinct vocations. As your pastor, first and foremost, but also as an historian and as a liberal theologian. In early 2007, during recovery from my cancer operation, I finished that sprawling narrative history I'd always dreamed of writing, In God We Trust, the Founding Fathers and the First Great Battle over Church and State. This accomplishment rounded off the first of my vocational trajectories, launched more than 30 years earlier when I received my doctoral degree in church history. Love and Death completed a second arc, summing up what I'd learned from you during my 3 decades as your pastor. I loved writing that book. It offered me a final pastoral opportunity, and it gave me the chance to ponder life and death from a new, more intimate perspective. There was only one problem. When my renewed leaf on life made it possible for me to consider writing one more final book, Love and Death didn't naturally lend itself to a sequel. Only one genre of my work remained incomplete as I thought about it. Over all these years, I'd never systematically or semi-systematically scored out my universalist theology. I'd never gathered my thoughts on religion and faith and God in a single volume. So I decided to seize this unanticipated gift of time to frame my theological teachings. The Cathedral of the World, which will come out next fall, completes the arc of my 3rd vocation as a universalist theologian. Assuming that role this morning, while offering you a sneak preview of my final book, let me take you on a brief initial journey. We shall walk together to the water's edge and follow the light of the moon wherever it may lead. We're standing on the shoreline of a mountain lake, moonlight lapping against our boot tips, mesmerized by the golden carpet laid out across the lake, as if lowered from the heavens just for us to the very place we stand. Before us, along the moon's glorious trail, we can see all the way to the lake's rocky bottom. Above the sunken branches, we watch the water dance and sparkle, a rack of moonbeams on each ripple's crest. Across the lake, where the moon is rising, our path turns to liquid gold. Standing on the shore, some distance to our right, a man contemplates the same view, yet appears shrouded in darkness. To our left stands a woman, her silhouette all but obscured by the blackness that envelops her. Pondering these two apparently benighted people, we wonder to ourselves, what can they possibly be thinking? They stand encompassed by darkness, the lake before them flat and lifeless. If only they would join us at the foot of the moon's luminous path, they too could bathe in celestial light. Henry David Thoreau once chastised the Florentine artist and adventurer Benvenuto Cellini for mistaking the aura he saw surrounding his shadow on a dew-drenched day as a special sign of divine recognition. In the moonlight, we experience a like illusion, as do, unbeknownst to us, the man and woman to our right and left. Judging only by what they see, they too may feel themselves uniquely illumined. To their eyes, it is the other neighbor and we who languish in the darkness. Expressive of both the wonder and danger of religion, on the one hand, the moon's golden light extends a path across the lake to the feet of everyone who stands under the spell of its supernal glow. On the other, given that each onlooker sees only his or her own golden pathway, all others standing in apparent darkness, we are left with the impression that we walk the one true path alone, whereas those who fail to join us are lost. Here, nature can serve as our theological tutor. She reminds us, in almost every way that matters, we and our most distant neighbor, sprung from a single source and sharing the same destiny, are one. This revelation, drawn from the book of nature and nature's God, encapsulates the essence of universalist theology. To perceive things as they are, not as merely they appear, we must view them with parallax vision. We must imagine seeing them through others' eyes as well as through our own. That, then, is one metaphor for a 21st century theology. My new book pivots on another one, making much the same point in a slightly more elaborate and nuanced way. I call it the Cathedral of the World. Imagine awakening one morning from a deep and dreamless sleep to find yourself in the nave of a vast cathedral. Like a child newborn, untutored save to moisture, nurture, rhythm, and the profound comforts at the heart of darkness. You open your eyes to a world unseen, indeed unimaginable before. It is a world of light and dancing shadow, stone and glass, life and death. This second birth, at once miraculous and natural, is in some ways not unlike the first. A new awakening. It consecrates your life with sacraments of pain you do not understand and promised joy you never will fully call your own.